What's up, everybody? So this is gonna be a little bit more somber video today. I had a sore throat all night last night. I don't know what's going on, catching cold, but I wasn't even gonna do a video today. I was gonna take a break for the day, but I needed to post this. You have to bear with me. Might be a little bit longer video. So, in this thing we call life, it is fragile. It is fleeting. It has its sad times, it has its good times, it has its bad times. It has its moments where you're proud. It has its moments where you're down and you're up. But then day we have friends, we have family. And life is always worth the journey. If you don't think it is, then I get it, people have mental health like me sometimes don't think life is worth the journey, but life is really worth the journey because there's always someone out there that cares. Most of us get on this app, whether it be Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you use. And if you're a fan of any sport, even if you're not a fan of sport and you're just a fan of actors and actresses, we'll say celebrities, whether it be actors, actresses, athletes in football, basketball, baseball, racing, or wrestling, the entertainment stuff, like Hulk Hogan, Seth Rollins, them wrestlers like that. Just name a couple. Or whether it's music, we look at these people like they're larger than life. And most of the time they become our heroes. We aspire to be like them. We idolize them. But we need to remember at the end of the day, they're just like us. They're human. They can be hurt. They can get sick. They can easily pass away just like we can. The only difference between them and most of us is we're not in the limelight. We don't get the notoriety and the populism. We're not in the public eye like they are on a constant basis. Whether you're a NASCAR fan or not a NASCAR fan, yesterday NASCAR lost one of them figures. The NASCAR fans, the NASCAR nation, whatever you want to call them, they lost a larger than life figure. And I don't think it's been since Dale Earnhardt we've lost somebody this big. Yesterday evening, you all saw, whether it's on Facebook or the news or ESPN, you all saw around 4, probably, I saw it around 5 o'clock. That Kyle Busch suddenly and tragically, we all saw yesterday around 4, somewhere between 4 and 5. I saw it at 5. That Kyle Busch suddenly and tragically passed away at the age of 41. Now, for those of you who are new to NASCAR and want to know why this is such a big loss, because first of all, let me get into his career stats. This is a for sure future Hall of Famer, first ballot. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go in next year. But let's get into it. He drove the Truck Series. He drove the O'Reilly Series, which used to be the Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Sprint Series, which is the 3 major racing leagues. And between all 3 of them racing leagues, the NASCAR Cup, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the O'Reilly Series / Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, he is the winningest driver. 234 career races between them 3 series. 69 wins in the Truck Series, which he had his last win last Friday at Dover. And then he has, 69 races in the Truck Series, which his last win came last Friday. 102 wins in the Xfinity Series / O'Reilly Series, which that is the most of any driver in any. That is the most of 102 wins in the O'Reilly Series is the most of any driver ever in the O'Reilly Series. And he had Kyle Busch had 63. Kyle Busch had 63 wins in the Sprint Cup Series. Now he never won a championship in Truck Series because with the current rules, you're only allowed to compete for a championship in one of the series. If you're a Sprint Cup Series driver, you choose to run for a championship in Truck Series, you can't be eligible in the other 2 series. But anyways, Kyle Busch won a Xfinity Series / O'Reilly Series championship in 2009. And then he won a Sprint Cup Series championship in 2015 and 2019 in the NASCAR Cup Sprint Series. And then he won Then Kyle Busch won the Kyle Busch won the Sprint Cup Series. Kyle Busch won the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship in 2015 and 2019. Doing this over a 22-year career. This was his 22nd year in the sport. Now, I don't know if Kyle had plans to retire by any means. I hadn't heard anything. But the thing about that championship in 2015, obviously, he started off, he was running both the Xfinity Series race at that time, which is now O'Reilly, and the Sprint Cup Series race for the Daytona 500, and the Xfinity Series version of the Daytona 515. Well, he broke his leg. He got involved in a wreck and broke his leg in that opening race for the Xfinity Series, O'Reilly Series in 2015. Missed the first 11 races of the NASCAR. And then Kyle Busch, after breaking his leg in the opening race for the O'Reilly Series in 2015 during their Daytona 500, Kyle Busch then missed the first 11 races of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in 2015. If you know anything, if you miss even just one race for NASCAR, you have to get a medical waiver they call it. And then NASCAR has to prove it for you to be eligible you have to, if you miss any amount of time in racing, NASCAR, O'Reilly Series, or even truck, you got to get a medical waiver. Even if you miss one race, and then NASCAR has to prove it. If they approve it, then you can be eligible. If they approve your medical claim, or if NASCAR, how do I want to say it? If NASCAR approves of your medical waiver, then you are now eligible to compete for the championship in that series, which Kyle had to do. He came back after 12 races. He filed for the medical claim. He got approved. And he went on a tear that year. He dominated. He won a bunch of races. I think in the first 7 or 8 races he was back, he won 3 or 4. He just dominated, went on to win the championship. That was impressive in itself. And then off the track, he was a husband. He was a father to his 11-year-old son. Off the track, Kyle Busch was a father and a husband. A father to 11-year-old Braxton and a father to 4-year-old Lennox. Now Braxton, his son, is a racer in his own right and is pretty good at it. So I don't know what the age requirement is to run O'Reilly or NASCAR, but I think when that time comes, he will probably work his way up there. Will Braxton. And Kyle, since being married to Samantha, he's calmed down. Y'all remember, Kyle was he had that brashness. You either hated him or you liked him. You weren't really on the fence. Over the years, I didn't hate the guy. I just wasn't a fan. But I didn't hate him. Now he's one of my top 5 favorite NASCAR drivers. He was well before his death. I think probably 5 years ago, probably about 7 years ago now, he became one of my top 5 favorite NASCAR drivers. Love the guy. I'm glad I went to the Iowa Speedway back in 2024 and got a chance to see him one last time. But anyways, yeah. Now he's trying to help the younger generation, like guys like Connor Zilic, Carson Hosehaver, them younger guys. Ty Gibbs are just now coming in. Chase Briscoe. He doesn't win a lot, but he wants to help them guys. Off the track, he's an ambassador for a lot of things. Yeah, he was just a great family man. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't want to speculate, but I do know that he was at a race swimmer last Wednesday. He passed out. I did read this morning that he was coughing up blood in the 911 call they made. And then yesterday morning, they announced that he wasn't going to race this weekend in the Coke 600 because of the illness. And then last night, we found out he's passed away. Kyle Busch, gone at the age of 41, y'all. Today, so this weekend, whether you're watching Indy or NASCAR, watch it with pride and honor, and remember Kyle as you watch. To them race car drivers, not there and see, race your hearts out for that man up there. And Kyle, keep racing the big sky in the heaven. Before I end this, I want to say my condolences and my thoughts and my prayers go out to his family and friends. There will never be another like him. This feels like Dylan Hurt all over again. But Kyle Busch, we love you. We will miss you. It's never goodbye. It's only see you later. Until we meet again, my friend. Keep racing up in big heaven and sky. Rest in peace, Kyle Busch.